The CS2 market just had its worst day ever, if not in the entire history of CSGO, and not just CS2. Like, when you go and check prices and see a factory new Dragon Lore is down 6% in the past 24 hours, you know something's wrong. Now, the good news is, I think this is the worst and potentially final part of it, and here's why. This level I've been talking about in other videos, the pre-CS2 hype level as I've called it, has been hit comfortably in the incredibly liquid Op Asimov. And we're at this level that we were at a very long time ago, that we went sideways at, so there's a lot of support there. If you were looking at it like this market behaved like crypto or the stock market, you would say there's a lot of support at this price. A lot of people have bought at this price consistently for long times until it eventually came up with the hype. But this is a comfortable cushion for it, I would like to think. Now, these pre-CS2 hype levels were also around January of this year. We're pretty much at January prices. And the player count right now is also very similar to the levels we had in January, which is just another reason why I think demand will finally somewhat be there at these levels to buy, or at least there will be way less sellers. Now, as I always have to say, price trends vary a lot between skins right now, but just look on CSGOEmpire. Most things in the market are down like 25% in the past 30 days. I don't think we're going to be having minus 5% days, minus 20% weeks, or anything ridiculous like that much longer. But before we continue into why, a word from the sponsor. CSGOEmpire has a ton of skins listed at cheaper than buff price, and you might be thinking, isn't that a gambling site? Partially, but not entirely. They have an entire marketplace dedicated to peer-to-peer buying and selling with 0% fees, and if you sort by the best deals, you'll easily find stuff cheaper than buff. As you can see here, these gloves are 3.36% off. You can easily flip them for profit, and Empire also offers any deposit method you could think of, including many different cryptos and real money options. And you're able to withdraw with all of these options, including USDC, which you could turn to cash instantly. Of course, there's no wager requirement on any deposit either, so be sure to check them out with that link in the description and start getting skins for cheaper than buff today. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean I'm suddenly super bullish on the market and think things are gonna just turn around tomorrow. There is still no reason for players to come back to the game. There's no big updates, there's no new case, etc. We've been over this 100 times, and if there's no new demand or no new CS2 hype, we are not going to get back to price levels we were at when there was 1.8 million players, and we're at 1.2 million now. That's a massive drop. That's a 33% drop. So I'm still very hopeful for the future. Obviously, there is going to be big CS2 updates, not limited to, but hopefully in operation, new cases, all the basic stuff. But Valve just hasn't shown that we're ready for that big update yet. There's so many small things we have to get through still. So once they start hyping that up and players start coming back to the game because of that and all that, then the market's probably going to move up again. But number one, who knows how far out that is, because we have no hints of it at all. And number two, I don't think we're just going to see a ton of skin demand come up out of nowhere. Sure, there could be people buying at these low levels, but I don't think we're going to be in a prolonged uptrend just based off absolutely nothing. I think we're going to need hype to see that. What I will say is the downside risk at this point, I believe, is obviously much lower than the profitability of the upside. The player count is still relatively high at above 700,000. Like, if you scroll through CSGO's active player count throughout the years, you'll note that it's not exactly a level we've hit too often. Keeping an eye out on the case opening numbers as well, they're still at 39 million. Sure, it's falling off a bit as the player count has dropped over the past few weeks, but still, that's relatively extremely high compared to the player count level we're at, which is obviously really good for the skin market. People still love their skins. The skin market isn't going anywhere. Just because all of the hype from the initial CS2 release got sold off, that's the levels we're at right before the CS2 hype, and most skins aren't even at that level yet. Don't be too worried. Sure, there's a lot of red days happening right now, but it's not like the market crashed 90%. We're just at levels we were at before the CS2 hype started. And the only reason we got to those extremely high levels is because when CS2 dropped, everything looks better. Obviously, there's not going to be a lot of sellers wanting to sell their skins when the game just got announced. Skins are looking incredible. Who is going to want to sell then? So it's no surprise that after the game dies down, people are like, oh, my skin went up a lot in price, but I mean, I'm not really playing the game anymore. Potentially investors made their money. obviously those people are going to start selling when they made a massive amount of money. And then as we get back to the pre-CS2 hype levels, we're just at that same level we were at before all the hype started. So we've really completed the cycle. And once the hype comes back into the game, hopefully things go back up. That's my future outtake of it. So yeah, just realize if you're getting into it now, prices can obviously go lower. I'm still waiting for the new hype, which if you couldn't tell right now, is a determining factor in the market. Hype is what you're going to profit off of most of the time, and it requires being patient. So for now, we wait. And of course, if you want to buy skins for cheaper than buff and hold them as an investment as people panic sell, be sure to check out CSGO Empire with that link at the top of the description. But for now, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.